we are starting with a Spanish company flying here to Spain, staying here with a very, very sensitive topic that we all, I think, sadly had been acquainted with, which is cancer. But technology is increasing every year, and we are capable of catching cancer earlier and earlier and earlier before. It's not just catching cancer, it's also monitoring that if you already had a cancer, it's not coming back, or even monitoring that the treatment you're getting is actually being effective. So to tell us how to do that with ultra-sensitive DNA sequencing, please welcome our first startup of this blog. Big applause to Marina Planas, CEO at Altum Sequencing.
Thank you. I'm Marina Planas, CEO co-founder of Altum Sequencing, a company born in a hospital. And this is Jess, my dear friend. She was diagnosed with cancer, and after 3 years fighting, doctors finally said, yes, you are clear. But she wasn't. Why? Because relapse begins with a single cell, and today, nobody sees it. Up to 36% of patients are not correctly diagnosed after treatment. So, how we can fight against what we cannot see? We need to make the invisible visible. At Altum Sequencing, we detect 1 tumor cell in 1 million. How we do it? Imagine a plane flying at night. We cannot see it, but radar can detect it even in the darkness. That's what Altum does for cancer. We see what the image cannot see. We stay with the patient all the journey, since diagnosis, treatment monitoring, and relapse detection. One platform, multiple clinical decisions. Unfortunately, the market is massive. 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women in this room, we will have cancer in our lifetimes. We are a B2B global company. We have signed 3 pilots with 3 different pharmas in different countries that all together could generate a 300 million revenue pipeline. My co-founders are international recognized key opinion leaders in oncology, hematology, and liquid biopsy. Together, we bring innovative science, excellent clinicians, and business execution to bring this technology to patients worldwide. Our ambition, it's clear. We want that personalized cancer monitoring become the standard of care. Today, we are raising 5 million to accelerate our AI cancer monitoring platform to expand it in the healthcare ecosystem, from doctors to hospitals, from pharma to insurers. By 2030, we expect to help 500,000 patients and build a 500 million company. My dear Jess, Altum is not just about diagnosis. It's about time. Time to live better and longer.
Right on cue. Thank you very much, Marina. Good job. Okay, judges, question for Marina. That was fast. There you go. She's a pro.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. A quick question, your pathway to scalability in terms of the US in particular, FDA approval, etc. And also, what are the roadblocks or the challenges that you see with your competitors?
Okay, now we are an in-house laboratory test. So we are now in the path of the regulatory for IVDR for our software platform. So we are going to unlock this, and we are just selecting the notified body, so we're in this path. What we want is to piggyback in the infrastructure of the hospitals that they already have. So we are going to expand globally, and with our platform, we are going to be able to serve worldwide. Thank you.
Okay, we only can do one, sorry. Okay, big applause to Marina. Thank you very much, Marina. Good job. Okay, we're staying in Spain, and I don't know you, but every time I go to the dentist, and for whatever reason they have to put anesthesia on my mouth, I always tell the dentist, put more. And he goes like, no, this is enough. It's like, no, put more. And he goes like, why more? It's like, it's gonna hurt. I have a high tolerance, not because I take drugs though, but I have a high tolerance for that. It's like, no, I'll put you this. He puts what he thinks is, or she thinks is gonna be okay, then I do my stuff, and it hurts like a bitch. And I'm like, I told you, give me more. Now imagine that, not in the dentist, imagine that in the surgery room. Not fun, not cool. That's why controlling anesthesia in the emergency room, in the surgery room, is so important. Well, our next startup is precisely doing that. How do we control the reaction and where the patient is with their anesthesia and predict what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes through technology? It's our next startup. So please welcome the medical manager at Predicción, Maria Perez.
Good morning. Would you board a plane if the captain said, today we will be flying without weather prediction? No. Then why do we take this risk every time we enter the operating room? Our doctors do not have predictions on how we will respond in real time through surgery. This is why we create Predicción. And what do all surgeries have in common? Anesthesia. 1 in 5 patients suffer anesthesia complication. This is Pedro, our founder, your anesthesiologist. During the surgery, he will be mentally integrating data, tracking your lung, your heart, and your brain. And as he does not have prediction, he will be mentally predict the level of anesthesia you need. Doing anesthesia is walking a fine line. Too little anesthesia, you will be in pain. Too much, you could suffer brain damage. And there are 300 million patients undergoing surgery every year worldwide. The solution, Predicción. AI personalized anesthesia. This is the medical device we use in Hospital Clinic of Barcelona. It integrates 100,000 data points per hour, and it is powered with our own software built on more than 500 million clinical data points. It provides the anesthesiologist with real-time individualized predictions up to 10 minutes ahead of time, so they can act before an adverse event occurs. What it means to you as a patient, less complication, faster recovery. What it means to a hospital, they could increase surgeries and unlock up to 5 million of additional revenue every year. Despite the 3.5 market size, surgery only represents 2% of FDA approvals. Why? Due to the lack of data. Only 5% of the data that is created in the operating room is kept after the surgery ends. This is why I spent more than 4 years in the operating room collecting data from patients undergoing surgery to build our database and our predictive models. We don't use LLMs because the black box effect wouldn't be appropriate for a solution in the OR. It would take at least 2 years for a competitor to catch us up, and this is why we already have 4 letters of commercial intent. Our business model, B2B, hardware and software licenses. Sales will be led by experienced medtech with access to hospital, prioritizing our 150 anesthesiologists. We are actually undergoing regulatory approval in Europe, and we expect commercial launch in 2028 in Europe and 2031 in the United States. Proudly awarded by the United Nations for building AI for good, we are a multidisciplinary team with deep expertise in anesthesia, engineering, regulatory, and go-to-market strategies. We look for investors to take Predicción worldwide. Let's make surgery safer together. For Predicción, anesthesia is just the beginning. Thanks.
Very good, Maria. Right on time. Okay, judges, questions for Maria, please. We had 2 there. Or 3. I know, ladies, 2 ladies there. You guys choose.
You? Thank you for the pitch. I wonder, as your company grows, how do you leverage your strategic relationship with Philips to help you grow, but without limiting your strategic optionality?
Yes.
By which I mean maintaining your independence as a company.
Thank you so much for your question. The first thing is that we have an MVP. That's why we have developed a hardware, to have our own pathway because in this hardware, we could put lots of softwares inside. In anesthesia, now we have two packages. That is the sedation pack, in which the patient breathes alone, and the general anesthesia pack, with the patient needs a ventilator. With this package, we are alone. Our pathway is to obtain the CE, and afterwards, the FDA. For the medtech company, what should we do? We start talking with them, and then we adapt our product to their solution. Imagine Philips. We can integrate our software in their platform or in the medical device they already have in the OR. But we have developed this hardware to have this parallel pathway to be independent for sales.
Okay, and with this, please, big round of applause to Maria. Well done. Thank you very much. Okay, and now we're flying all the way to Poland to tackle something that, if you look at the trends, fertility trends in the world are going down, right? And in most cases, we don't know what's going on until it's very late. So, as we're seeing on the other startups, we are developing and increasingly using more and more technology to go on the predictive side. You know, for years, we've been talking about predictive medicine, right? Well, it's finally here. So what if we could actually detect fertility risks early on? So we can start treatment early on, so we can increase the fertility rates that we have right now. So to talk about how they do that, all the way from Poland, the CEO and co-founder of Ioni app, Katrina Gosz.
Hi, my name is Katarzyna Goch. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Ioni, a medical app and virtual fertility clinic. 1 in 5. This is how many couples struggle to conceive. It can be you, a family member, or a friend. It was also me. Globally, that's 200 million people. And despite the scale, most of them go years without diagnosis. People are lost in the chaos of unverified information. They don't know which test to take or which therapies really work. And the access to fertility specialists is limited. So the average time to pregnancy is 4 years. Ioni simplifies this journey. We cut the time to diagnosis to just months, and we are certified as medical device class 1. How does it work? User starts by sharing basic information about their age, menstrual cycle details, how long they've been trying, and health history. Ioni is integrated with wearables and tracks 300 parameters. Our AI analyzes this data, and with 94% of accuracy, it helps to assess the fertility and spot at the early stage health risk. So we are able to educate and fast-track users showing symptoms of endometriosis, PMOS, or hormonal imbalances. And when necessary, we connect them with doctors, clinics, and online consultations. Coming soon, all of this will be supported by our own curated AI assistant. So while others focus mostly on lifestyle-oriented point solutions, we created a medically credible, holistic platform. Think of it as a command center for every woman's fertility. Over 270,000 women have trusted Ioni, and we have already helped over 30,000 to get pregnant. They appreciate the clear plan on complicated pathways. Our business model is simple. Users pay for subscriptions and health plans, and we also collaborate with medical partners, helping them to reach patients. We partner with IVF clinics, medical centers, labs, and pharma, and last year our revenue exceeded 200K. We think big about scaling our solution. The global fertility market is worth 70 billion, with our specific segment at 250 million. So we have clear roadmap how to get there and reach decent revenue through 5 million new users and 10,000 clinical partners. We need 1 million to expand our sales and community and to enter new markets. And we've already have amazing team to support the idea. Professor Krzysztof Łukaszuk, leading European IVF expert, and myself, experienced fertility product manager, a dedicated team of 12, and top medical and business advisors from across the globe on board. 30,000 success stories so far and millions ahead. Help us build the future of the fertility care. Thank you.
Very good, Kat. Good job. Right on time. Judges. Questions for Katarina? There you go. You were fast now. Yeah, it's on, don't worry.
Hello? Yeah. Pretty easy. Why you and why now?
Why we? Because of the very experienced, absolutely professional, innovative team created by medical experts, absolute geeks and PhDs in mathematics and AI. We have also business advisors and marketing and community specialists. We have really good connection among the fertility and human reproduction network, not only in our home country, but also across the globe. So we are able to reach people, decision makers, to establish partnerships, to integrate with them. Why now? Because we have an enormous problem with demography, and fertility issues are quite a simple way to solve it.
Okay, there we go. Good job.
Thank you so
Big
much.
applause to Katarina. Thank you so much. Now we're flying back to Spain with once more going back to sequencing diagnosis is a big thing, you know, liquid biopsy and stuff like that. But there's one thing about cancer which is very nasty, multi-organ disease thing, which is it's hard to catch it really early because our capacity to detect really early signs of beginning of cancer requires ultra-sensitive technologies. But we are getting to that point. And by using ultrasensitive analysis of RNA in this case, we can actually predict the oncoming of cancer way ahead of the time. So to talk about how we do that, please welcome on stage the co-founder and scientific affairs lead from Flomix Biotech, Esther Lizano.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Cancer doesn't start when we detect it. It starts actually way earlier. And the problem is that most diagnostics don't. This is the reason why 70% of the cancers are only detected only after symptoms appear, and most stage 1 cancers are missed by DNA-based tests. And the reason is not because we lack the technology, it's just because we are often looking for signals that come late during the disease process. So let's stop being reactive and let's start capturing active disease in real time. This is the beauty of RNA. RNA is an extremely dynamic molecule, and it allows us to see what is happening right now and not what happened in the past. And so to make RNA clinically usable, we've built a whole infrastructure where with a simple blood sample, we extract the RNA, we sequence it, and then we apply artificial intelligence to search for specific cancer patterns within our proprietary database. And we analyze more than 150,000 data points per sample to translate it into a clinically actionable report. So it really works. Sentinel detects 5 cancers at stage 1 with an 81% sensitivity. We are doubling the sensitivity of the classic DNA tests. But not only, Sentinel was built as an early cancer detection, but the very same platform, it can also be applied to unlock other multiple high-value markets, such as treatment response, drug development, and even longevity. Today, Sentinel is supporting more than 15 revenue-generating projects and 30 active collaborations. Our model is built to scale. Hospitals own the relationship, laboratories process the samples, and Flomix interprets the results through Sentinel. We are an asset light, we have per test economics, and we have a growing database. So far, we have raised more than 6 million in funding. We are proving early market demand through more than 700,000 euros in revenue. Our database is growing every quarter, and we are protecting our technology through patents and trade secrets. This, of course, wouldn't be possible without a team that brings expertise in genomics, artificial intelligence, clinical translation, and entrepreneurship. So to build a platform, It was a challenge, but now to bring it to millions of people in the world, it's a bigger challenge. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, big applause for Esther. Thank you. This is cutting edge. 6 million, more than 6 million. Why are you here? You know, next time you're going to pay me.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Okay, judges, questions, please.
Well, greetings, Esther. I think that your idea is awesome. And I would like to know how could you measure the impact on the patients that could potentially benefit from this technology?
How do I measure the impact in the patients?
Yes.
Well, the impact is actually huge because we are having right now some of the projects I was talking about. We are using our technology to understand why some treatments fail, why some treatments are toxic. So if we could do this early before starting the treatment, and we could already say, okay, you better take another treatment because it will fail or it will be toxic, I think this is huge, instead of going through several rounds of chemo and immuno.
Okay, with this big round of applause to Esther. You are doing an amazing job. This is one of my favorite parts of my job. You get to engage to people that are changing and defining the future. So that's absolutely incredible. Now, let me tell you something that not everyone knows, but we are a species, humanity is a species that employs 2/3 of our brain for visual processing, which essentially translates into us being a visual creatures. However, imagine someone coming to you saying, like, you have a disease of the eye and you're going to become blind, and there's nothing we can do about it. Imagine that. Close your eyes for a second. Everyone, close your eyes for a second. Imagine being like that all the time. But someone telling you it's going to happen. It's going to happen in 3 months, 1 year, something like that. Well, our next startup is fighting that. They've developed a pharma drug that's neuroprotective to the eye, that even in those extreme diagnoses can actually protect and stretch the use of the eye before you go blind. So please welcome on stage, big round of applause to Amalia Capilla, CEO of Miramoon Pharma.
Hello, everybody. I am so happy to see you today. And when I say that I feel happy, is because I feel really lucky. Probably you don't know that there are 15,000 people in Spain that they already know that are getting blind in less than 10 years. And this is because they suffer from a rare disease that is called retinitis pigmentosa, which is killing the photoreceptors of these patients in a progressive way, so they become blind until they don't see the light. This drama is happening to more than 400,000 people in the world, including Europe and USA. And the problem is that it has no cure because there are more than 80 genes involved with hundreds of mutations, so it's very difficult to find a global solution. And despite being a rare disease, that's why the market is so attractive. At Miramoon Pharma, we have developed a new molecule that is able to cross the hematoretinal barrier, reach the photoreceptors, and improve and preserve the retinal function and then the vision. We are able to expand the window of time that the patients can see. Right now in the market, there is only one solution that is called Luxturna. It's a gene therapy, so only helps 1% of the patients, and it's very aggressive. It requires a surgeon room, and it costs $500,000 per eye. However, our solution is very stable, scalable, and also you can apply it by eye drops, so you can even dream about pediatric solutions. Our results have demonstrated that we are able to keep the functionality of the photoreceptors up to 70%. We have our molecule protected in more than 30 countries worldwide. We have scientific publications that confirm that our results are true. And also, we have already the orphan drug designation from the FDA and the EMA, so we can expand to both markets. Last year, we raised $1.8 million to finish the preclinical phase and demonstrate the no toxicity in animals. And this year, we'll open a round of $5 million for starting the phase 1 clinical trials next year. We have investors, and we have also raised $3 million in public health. This is thanks to a great team that is trained internationally, and they have devoted their lives to the study of rare diseases. Together, we have created a platform of 37,000 patented molecules that target the ryanodine receptors, which is our target, and helps to leave the tissues longer. So you are not investing only in ophthalmology, but also we have our programs in muscle and cardiac and central nervous system. And we have already demonstrated our results and the proof of concept and published in scientific journals. So I'm inviting you to join Miramon Pharma, if not because of the cause of rare diseases, but for the billions of dollars that are waiting for you in the market. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you, Amalia. Good job. Okay, very quick question, please. Quick question from Amalia. Do you have questions? 1, 2, 3, over there.
Hi, Gordon Clark. I'm curious about MP010 and the applications for ALS. Can you talk a little bit about...
I don't hear you, sorry.
Can you hear me now? Yes. So with respect to MP010 that you had listed for degenerative ALS, can you talk a little bit about where you are in that process?
Yes, in ALS we have studied a specific model mouse that is called SOD1, and we have just preclinical data that we have developed in the academic way. In that mouse we have demonstrated that we increase the lifespan of the mouse 10%, we increase the muscle strength, they stay in the wheel for longer time, and they also keep the weight. So we are, this is kind of the next programs that we want to develop as well, because the results are very promising and was selected last year at the best paper of the British Journal of Pharmacology from 2025.
Okay, very good. Big round of applause to Amalia. Thank you very much. Thank you, judges. And now, one of the biggest issues in drug development is that we need to test it with humans, but that takes a long time and a lot of effort. What if we could actually print and create reliable human tissue to test drugs on it? Well, this is the next revolution in drug development, and we have one of the leading representatives of that. So please welcome our next startup on stage, all the way from Israel, the CEO of Tissue Dynamics, Avner Helrich.
Hello, everyone. So AI is changing the world. Everyone here knows that. And it's changing drug development as well. We do simulations. We develop drugs in a minute. We understand new targets. And we design experiments. But the brutal truth is it's broken. And the reason it's broken is AI is as good as the data you feed it. And the data that there is today in drug development is mainly animal and cell lines. And that ends up with $250 billion invested in R&D and less than 50 drugs reaching the market. Now, what can we do about it? So in Tissue Dynamics, what we feel and what we bring in is the human layer for AI-driven discovery. The way that we do it is using 4 proprietary pillars. One is biologics. It's our unique proprietary physiological models that allows us to understand physiology like never before. The second one is the dynamics, which allows us to communicate in real time with these tissues and understand what they're going through and experience throughout the drug development, throughout the drug experience that they're having. Our system robotics, which allows us to run 40,000 human organoids at the same time. That's 40,000 experiments at once, at the same time. And the last layer is the mechanics. It's the AI that takes these millions of data points created a week and allows us to calculate, understand, extract features, learn things, and extract new insights on our drugs, on our compounds, and on the things we're developing. And it works. So when we take in the human data and we put it in with the AI, we reach 96% prediction in liver toxicity, more than 88% prediction in cardiac toxicity, and it works. It works within shortening the time between how we can discover and repurpose a drug to the clinic, understanding things that were only revealed in phase 3 and understanding them well before it hits a failure, and obviously understanding how we can combine or how we can select patients in order to make them more susceptible to the drug, more susceptible to the clinical trial. And the numbers are behind it. There's a continuous increase in interest from the industry, from the pharma, collaborations with AI producers, being the sandbox, but also helping drug developers develop new drugs and helping cosmetic companies develop new mechanisms, new cosmetics all around. The time is now. So what tissue dynamics believes and the FDA believes as well. There's a transition that is happening toward AI, toward human models. It's happening through the FDA, it's happening through the EMA, and it's happening through the MHRA. And that sits down with what we're doing. Human data in real time, helping us understand and develop drugs better. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good job, Abner. Very good. Good job, my friend. Okay, judges, quick question for Abner, please. Or this is too much for you, huh?
What was well explained.
Thank you. There we go.
Hello, how are you doing? Gordon Clark again. So obviously you have some pretty heavy hitters in this space, Thermo Fisher, Illumina, that are chasing this technology as well. Can you talk a little bit about your approach to market and how you're going to differentiate the chase for the small molecule?
Make it short, please.
Yeah, so I think the main differentiation is we're non-discriminative. We work with Thermo Fisher on their models, and we have collaborations with ATCC, with Thermo Fisher, with all the players. The platform itself is agnostic. I can take in any model and bring it in, and then add the proprietary edge to it, the engineering, the AI, to get out of these models much better insights, much better drug development.
Okay, and with this, big round of applause to Abner. Thank you very much. We're moving to the next startup, going back to Spain, and in this case, it's very similar to the previous startup, but it's not just enough to have the right, let's say, tissue. It's also, we need to have the right interaction. So the next startup is actually taking this the next step, which is how do we simulate the mechanical interaction of drugs in this kind of tissues. So to talk about how they do magic and the accelerate drug discovery and reduce animal testing, please welcome the CEO of 60ND, Ricardo de la Torre.
Heart, lung, skin, tumors. Every year, more than $280 billion are invested in drug discovery in these areas. And they all share a common trait. They are never still. Heart beats, lung breathes, skin stretches, tumors grow. But here's the thing. Experiments in a lab today are done under static environments. As we said, real organs never stop. 90% of the drug candidates during clinical trials fail, and a significant share of those failures comes much earlier, when cells are tested under non-dynamic and realistic conditions. I am Ricardo de la Torre, CEO and co-founder of 60ND, and I lead a team of scientists and engineers working on this very deep science challenge since 2021. Last year, we launched NeoMag, our very own in vitro drug discovery platform that is capable of mimic how real organs move in the lab. Now, researchers can start testing their cells under more dynamic, realistic conditions. For what? For get better drug prediction, they accelerate the identification of new therapeutic targets, all of this before going into the ethically complex animal testing and the much more expensive clinical trials with humans. Our technology combines three patented innovations: proprietary hardware, smart materials consumables, and AI and physical modeling. We combine the best of both worlds, physical in vitro testing with software and AI prediction, all integrated seamlessly in just one platform. Other solutions do this in just one direction and physically pull or push cells. NeoMag is non-contact, is multi-mode, and can be integrated in all the standard equipment already existing in labs. It is the only commercial solution available today that is capable of doing this in a plug-and-play device that is basically ready to be portable. We target the $5 billion market drug discovery tool segment, and our technology has already been validated in diseases ranging from brain cancer to wound healing in top labs across the EU and the US. In 2025, 60ND has secured more than 3 million euros, combining public funding and private investors, and we've already started doing our first pilots with key stakeholders in derma and oncology. Behind 60ND, a multidisciplinary team of scientists and engineers that combines world-class deep science knowledge with expertise launching and scaling deep tech startups. And here's the thing. Pharma and biotech don't know what NeoMag unlocks. yet. For those investors and pharma execs in the room, let's connect with the right labs, help us get better drugs to patients faster. Thank you very much.
So we're still running out with 3 more startups. So in this case, we're flying back to Spain. And as I was telling, one of the magic of the technologies that we're using is that a lot of the new technologies are unlocking therapies that were unheard of before. And the next startup is actually tackling something that affects many different people. Skin diseases, things that can actually kill you like melanoma. So with the new technology that we have, with nanobody-based localization, we can fix this now. So please welcome on stage our next startup, the CSO and co-founder of NanoGrow Biotech, Lucia Bandrel.
Good morning, Your Majesty and everyone. How many of you know someone struggling with a skin disease such as psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, or melanoma? Often underestimated, they are the 4th leading cause of disability worldwide, affecting more than 600 million people and representing a global market of $55 billion. Current treatments still have major limitations. Traditional drugs, such as corticoids, are affordable and topical, but they lose efficacy over time. On the other hand, biologics or antibodies are highly effective, but they are expensive, unstable, and complex molecules that require systemic injection, leading to potential adverse effects throughout the body. At NanoGrow, we are developing a new generation of biologics by combining the efficacy of the antibodies with the safety and simplicity of localized deliveries. And this is only possible using our camelid-derived antibodies, or nanobodies, the smallest, simplest, and most stable antibodies known, which allows localized formulations such as creams with high tissue penetration. They don't need cold chain storage, and are produced at very low costs. Our key strength resides on a unique platform that combines bioengineering with AI to design disease-specific nanobodies with tailored localized delivery to the site of action, avoiding potential side effects on healthy tissues. We have preclinical IP-protected candidates for melanoma, psoriasis, and atopic dermatitis, both in humans and pets. Our localized lead candidate for melanoma achieved up to 90% of long-term survival with complete tumor regressions and potent abscopal effects and no signs of toxicity in animal models. Our B2B business model with pharma companies captures short-term veterinary revenues alongside high-value long-term human assets. We have already signed 4 commercial agreements and project 700,000 euros in revenue this year. NanoGrow has already been supported and recognized by key international stakeholders. And backed by a highly experienced team and a top-tier advisory board, we are now raising a seed round to advance our lead candidate toward the clinic, enhance our AI platform, and secure new partnerships. At NanoGrow, we are improving millions of lives by making localized, highly effective nanobodies available to everyone.
Big applause to Lucia. Thank you very much. Okay, sorry, the crazy lady just left, so now I can take questions. Judges, questions for Lucia, please. There.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations on the project and your presentation. Why decided to go both on humans and pets?
So this is our innovation, not only on the biological part, but also on the business part. Because we are already having revenues from the veterinary area, and we do the same indications. We do dermatitis and, for example, psoriasis, both in human and pets. And what what we do is we take advantage of all the knowledge that we have in the dogs, for example, to move forward to humans. So they, on one hand, we have already revenues that it's a really unique thing for a biotech human company, and on the other hand, we take advantage of the knowledge to move forward to the human part. Sorry.
Very good. Big applause to Lucia. Thank you very much. Thank you, judges. Okay, and now we're flying to Finland to tackle something that I think everyone is very aware of this. Our global populations are aging, and our health systems are getting strained, right? So whenever we have an issue, we have to go to the first round of care, we have to go to the hospitals. But should we still do that? With the technology that we have nowadays, we can actually reverse that. What if we can actually put autonomous health checks with the cutest leading edge technologies everywhere, both in the cities and in the rural areas, so we can cover the whole population and we don't collapse the system? So to talk about that, please welcome the CEO and co-founder of Medicube X, Ville Kostamo.
All right, Your Majesty, ladies, gentlemen, every single one of us has lost someone to heart disease, strokes, heart attacks, heart failure. I'm Ville Kostamo, a medical doctor and the CEO of Medicube X. We want to stop heart disease before it starts. And for this purpose, we have developed an AI-based cardiovascular risk assessment solution that works as self-service. Now, cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide and also in Europe. Over 20 million people die every year because of this. Approximately 90% of cases could be prevented if the people at risk were identified in time. And wearable devices will not solve this problem because you need to know what to track. You need to know what to do before you can start monitoring things. Now, for this purpose, we have developed the world's most accurate cardiovascular disease risk engine. Using our eHealth station, a self-service station for non-invasive health checkups, any adult person can measure everything that is available non-invasively for their cardiovascular health. And using our patent-pending algorithm solution, we can, in less than 10 minutes of your time, make a prediction for the next 10 years of how likely you are to get seriously ill, leading you to care before you even know you had a problem. We are defining this category, and we are already recognized in many different places in Europe for this. And since starting in 2020, we are already present in 5 different countries with the solution. Now, it is still early, but we have shown exponential growth, and we are on track for 20 million in revenue for 2028. And we operate with a B2B subscription model where we serve the entire solution to clinics, hospitals, health insurance, and public health initiatives. And we help the clinicians help people, patients, employees. Now, we are raising 10 million for our Series A to further scale up our operations, scale up our deliveries, and to further develop our AI-based solutions. And we are also aiming to enter new countries in Europe, including Spain, following this round. Now, I would very much like you to join us on our mission to stop heart disease together. Thank you.
Very good job, Billy. Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, judges, quick question for Billy.
Relation for the project, why is your solution more better than other alternatives such as other medical devices? Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
I couldn't hear you either. Can you speak louder, please?
What your solution is better than others alternatives such as others medical devices?
Yes. So Our solution is on the market as a medical system, so we are leveraging the best possible medical devices for this. So we work with multiple partners, and for example, we have a very ingenious solution for ECG, and now, for example, next Monday we will be unveiling a laser-based stethoscope for screening for heart valve problems, and these are kind of competencies that no one else has.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Billy. Big applause for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, judges. And we're gearing up with the last startup of the block. Is everyone ready? We can do better, right? Is everyone ready? Yes, okay. So, flying all the way to Switzerland to treat something that we rarely talk about this, but it's super important. In health, timing matters. If we can catch it early, we can save lives. Sadly, a lot of our technologies take quite a while to get diagnosis, to get the testing and everything. What if I tell you that our next startup is capable of shortening the window from weeks to minutes in detecting liquid cancers in our blood? So please welcome our final startup from Switzerland, the CEO of Moonlight AI, Christian Ried.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Christian, Su Majestad. Welcome, everybody. I'm CEO of Moonlight AI, the company revolutionizing cancer diagnostics by making it scalable. Almost all new cancer drugs require molecular testing for therapy selection. However, most of the patients in the world do not have access to this molecular testing technology. Even in the US, 2 out of 3 lung cancer patients do not get the required diagnostic testing. And the main reason is because these technologies are just not scalable. They have a long turnaround time of several weeks, are very expensive, and take a lot of resources. So the question that we ask, are we able to get the same results by only analyzing images of these simple, routinely collected blood smears? This would reduce turnaround time to minutes, and it would actually save a lot of money within the healthcare system. We are at Moonlight AI, we are developing 2 types of solutions: DNA mutation detection, as well as diagnosis of complex diseases, always by only using images of routinely collected blood smears. In the future, we plan to move to continuous monitoring as well as to screening. During our pre-seed phase, we have developed the technology, have filed the patents, as well as have protected the technology, as well we have published a clinical validation study. I will show you how this works. For example, in chronic lymphocytic leukemia, we are able to detect the driving mutation TP53, again, only by using a simple image of a blood smear. There's no need for DNA sequencing in this case. If we go to myelodysplastic syndrome, MDS, here we are even able to replace the bone marrow biopsy. Again, we can detect this disease by only analyzing the blood smear. We can connect to existing hardware with our software solution, and we can also expand to several other disease types. We have competitors, but we are the only ones providing a scalable solution that provides also an actionable treatment decisioning. We just closed our 3.3 million seed round, and now we are developing 3 solutions: MDS, CLL, and lung cancer, and plan market entry for early 28. We are 3 co-founders with different backgrounds: diagnostics, computer vision, as well as hemato-oncology, and as you can imagine, we are now recruiting. My ask to you is, if you want to become a partner for us, we are looking for clinical partners. If you want to join us in our journey to make cancer diagnostics accessible to everybody in the world, please let us know. We are looking for clinical validation partners, we are looking for testing partners, we are also looking for sparring partners to discuss how our technology could be implemented in your hospitals and in your diagnostic laboratories. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much, Christian. Good job.
Thank you.
Breathe.
Yes, finally.
Judges, questions for Christian, please.
Thank you.
That was fast.
Thank you very much. My question is, can you tell us a little bit more about your go-to-market strategy and how the team that you currently have is prepared to deal with that challenge for scalability?
Yes, that's a great question. We also got it from the investors. We did not have until very recently the business officer. Now we have a fractional CBO, which is actually also our chair in the board, and he will help us also recruiting the next permanent CBO, because this is an experience that definitely was not in the founder team. Fully agree.